Hello again, friends and loyal Wolfpack members. Chaos Wolf here, and welcome back to the Elite Dangerous 2.1 beta server, and to Pimp My Ride ASP Scout Edition. Now, basically, with this build, I had been almost challenged to try and make this ship more heat efficient. To be able to use 4 beam lasers and still be able to go out and scoop up material. So pretty much almost a piratey kind of build. I'm not going to go full piratey build. It's like a scavengery kind of build is what we're going to go for. But I have gone and taken this to heart. So we're going to go and try and make this a lot more heat efficient. So how are we going to go and do this? First of all, we need to go and have a look what we have in the outfitting department, because I've already gone and modified a few items on this ship already. So if we go into, where are we? The hard points, I have gone and modified all the beam lasers already. Now, the modifications I've gone for are the same ones we had on the Corvette. I've gone for the thermal vent. So, experimental upgrade that increases heat dissipation when successfully striking a target, at the cost of increased heat generation when missing. So the idea here is always make sure you're going to hit, and if they drop chaff, stop firing. So that's how we're going to go for it. I've gone for the reduced mass on this one as well, simply because everything else went and increased distributor draw. Even though this one goes and increases distributor draw a little bit, but yeah, well, it's not all of them that go and do the same thing. So if we go here, we go have a look at the modification there. We see no extra distributor draw here. It was just a random thing that happened on that one. But oh well, we've also gone and if we have a look, I've upgraded the thrusters. So I've basically just given them a clean drive tuning, pretty much. The power distributor, we've gone and made it so that it is more weapon focused, so we can actually go and fire these beam lasers for longer. Optional internals, we've got a shield cell bank. I've made it so that it spins up faster. I haven't modified the shield generator yet, but we're going to go and do that in a minute, and we're going to go and modify a few other things on the ship. So that's pretty much everything we've modified currently. I've also got 2 chaff launchers on this, mainly because of what I'm planning to do later. And as you can see, currently I don't have enough power to run what I've got, but we're going to go and fix that. So we're going to go into here, we're going to go down and have a look at the shields first of all. So what we're going to go for is we're going to go for the low power shields, mainly because this is reducing the power draw. It's also going to be reducing the mass, and the optimal strength only goes down by about 5%. The integrity is going down, and the optimal hull mass goes down, but yeah, the main thing is we're going to get them up to a 25% reduced power draw. The mass is nice as well, and I've realised now this is something I could have done with my modified Explorer Conda thing, because I didn't realise that it actually went and reduced the mass. It's so many things here I didn't even realise were here. So let's go and give this one a go. I've currently got 16 out of 20 fish. And the power draw's gone down at 26%. That's insane. The mass has gone down a little bit. I don't really mind that. The optimal strength has actually gone up somewhat. So that's kind of cool. The integrity's gone down and the hull mass has gone down. So yeah, why not? I'll go for that one. So that's reduced our power draw. So let's go and have a look over quick. Modules. Yes, we're just about getting to the realms of where I am able to go and use everything as it was. So shield generator, we'll stick that back to number 2. And we should, theoretically, let's just quickly check this. I'll go back and go into outfitting, because what's going to happen is that will pull our weapons out. I'll go back out, exit, and our shields are still up. Awesome. So that means that we've got the power to run the shields and everything else as we need to. So that's great. What else am I going to go for? Did I modify the armor? I can't remember if I did. I think I may have already done so. But the next thing we want to go and modify is the power plant. Now, what I'm not going to go and do is overcharge this power plant, because if I did, the heat efficiency would go absolutely insanely bad. The integrity would go down, but the power capacity would go up. What I'm going to go and do is I'm not even going to go for the low emissions, where the heat efficiency goes up by up to 31%, because that reduces our power capacity, and we really need to dance around this power capacity quite well. What I'm going to go and do is armor the power plant. Now, this is going to increase the integrity by up to 100%, but the heat efficiency is also going to be going up by up to 10%. So that's going to be quite nice. Is there anything else I could do with this? Because there's low emissions, but that's going to reduce our power capacity, as I previously stated. So yeah, we're going to go for the armored power plant. We're going to try and get it so that the heat efficiency comes up this side as well as everything else. So it's mainly the heat efficiency we want to get up onto this side. The integrity I'm not too fussed with, but it's really just this side. So let's go and generate and see how it goes, and see how many times we need to re-roll this to get what we want. That's not too bad. I'd really like to get this up to maximum if at all possible. Ooh, heat efficiency going up. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm happy with that. Integrity's going up. Yeah, yep. Anything else? No. Okay, I'm fine with that. So 8% better heat efficiency.
Power plant capacity exceeded.
Yes, it says power plant capacity exceeded, but we're still at the same amount because our power generation has not changed. But yes, the shield cell banks do take a while to spin up now, because I have modded them, not well, to spin up, to reboot even. The boot up times increase, but they spin up a lot faster. So I think that's nice. There's also the frameshift drive we need to go and mod out. So let's go and have a look at the frameshift drive. What can we go and do to this? So we can go for faster boot sequence, but that increases the power draw. Increased FSD range. Again, that increases the power draw. You know what? I think I'm going to go for the shielded frameshift drive. Its integrity is going to go up. Its thermal load's going to go up, but the mass is going to go up a lot as well. You know what? I don't think I'm actually going to bother modding out the FSD, because currently we have a healthy 19.78 light years of jump range. If we did this, it would be reducing that even further. So I'm not going to bother with that one, actually. The power distributor, like I said, has already been modified. I think I've got to modify the armor. I can't remember. Let's go and... No, I haven't actually gone and done that. So let's go and do this. What I'm planning to do is... Because we could modify the heavy-duty armor, which increases our mass, but pushes up everything else. But I'm not too fussed with that. What I'm thinking of doing is hitting the lightweight armor, just to reduce the mass slightly, because we're not reducing anything really badly here. It's just reinforcing it with different material so it makes it lighter overall. At least that's how it seems. So let's go and give that a go. So let's go and check this out. We'll see if we can get the hull reinforcement up to go to 1. So that'll be nice to go and see if that's at all possible. Okay, that didn't happen, but let's see if some of the secondary effects make that happen. Reinforcement, up 0, okay. Kinetic resistance, thermal resistance, explosive resistance, hull boost are all going down a little bit. Yeah, fine. I'll re-roll a couple of times and see if it is possible to get the hull reinforcement up. Okay, well, I've rolled on this about 15 times and not a single time has this hull reinforcement actually reached 1. It seems like it's either going to be an extremely rare occurrence or it's just not happening and it's somewhat bugged. I don't know. But we have managed to get a massive reduction on the mass of 9%. The hull boost has gone up 5%, so we don't really have much negative things here. We have a little bit of resistance on each of the different kinetic, thermal and explosive resistance, but I don't really mind. This, at the end of the day, is just a test and a proof of concept to see whether or not it works. So did I go and... Yes, I did a clean drive tuning. So I think that's everything I need to go and modify out. We'll have a look back over... Oh, even here. Yes, because we've now managed to get over 20.99 light years. So pretty much it's 21 light years, all but the kicking and screaming. And that's not bad at all, especially with heavy-duty military-grade composites even. And having a look at the modules, yes, we're still good for power. So I think we're going to go and try this out in the field to see how well this works. So, see you outside, Commanders. Okay, I guess this guy will have to do. We're going to go and try our luck with this little Imperial Eagle. So, let's go and give this a go. Now, I have both sets of lasers set onto different fire groups, so I can pick and choose which ones I want to fire if I want to go and regen, or if I want to do heavy damage, or just go all out.
Warning, temperature critical. Warning, taking heat damage.
There we go, that's one down. There's his little friend. Now, the trick to this is if we want to get our heat generation to the best it possibly can be, we have to be hitting them. If we miss, then we end up generating heat more than anything else. Uh-oh. That's the shields down.
Module malfunction. Flight assist off. Flight assist.
So if he dumps chaff, we are generally in a little bit more trouble than normal. But we're able to keep on him quite brutally, with him not being able to get much of a shot on us. And there we go, we dealt with him quite handily. Now just got to wait for the shields to come back up. And it may look like I've got 70, took off 29% of our hull, but we did start at 88% because of a bit of a snafu I had earlier where I mucked up my power priorities again by accident. And ended up losing my shields when I got interdicted. Now what I don't want to have happen right now is getting scanned. But as you can see, the ability of this ship to fire these lasers without overheating is insane. Especially considering that this ship always had massive inherent heat dispersion issues. And with the clean drive modification, we've got even more maneuverable. This thing handles like an eagle at the moment. That is insane. And it's making me like this ship a lot more. I think Ducky's going to get a lot more happy when she's able to use hers to this extent. So yeah, I'm very, very pleased with that. With how this works. So there's a lot we can do with this. We can just throw this around like nobody's business, changing directions and going after anything. But let's have a quick look, for argument's sake, with firing all these weapons when we're not hitting anything. When not hitting anything, you can see that our heat goes up stupidly fast. But when we're hitting something, like you saw in the combat, our heat generation really didn't go up all that much. In fact, it was able to somewhat counteract the heat issues we were having from the shield cell bank. Not massively, but it was able to help. Right, let's go and see if we can find something to shoot at quickly, so we can just have a quick look at that again. But I don't think there's anything else around at present, so what the hell, let's just get out of Dodge. So, what do I think about this little monster when it comes to having its stats buffed by the loving touch of the engineers? I do think this ship has a lot more potential than it had previously. I mean, I do think that this ship really did struggle to find a niche for itself, but now it's one of the most the most insanely maneuverable ships, and it's got 4 hardpoints. You can mount them even with beam lasers like I showed you just here, and this makes it so much easier to go and cause damage, especially if you go for the heat vent modifications, which I find absolutely insane. I do think they are amazing, and I do think this gives this ship a whole new lease of life. But your mileage may vary. What do you think about how we managed to mod this one up? Do you think it was a good build, or do you still think that this ship is kind of pointless in the grand scheme of the game? I mean, like I said, I found it rather enjoyable, and it was very fun to fly. But as always, let me know what you think down in the comments field, and I'll do my level best to get back and comment and reply to as many as humanly possible. But anyway guys, that's been enough for this video. I've been Commander Chaos Wolf. You guys have been epic. I will see you soon. Until then, Commanders, keep flying and stay shiny.